Looking for help with course design and installations? A new disc or other accessories for your game? Well, OzDiscs has a huge range of all disc golf equipment in stock. 5% of each sale goes back to support your local club through their rewards program. Also, did we mention they have next day shipping? Well, jump online and check out OzDiscs now at www.ozdiscs.com.au. For over 10 years, the Flying Disc Store has stocked Australia's largest range of flying disc products. From disc golf discs and bags to ultimate frisbees, throw and catch discs and dog discs, the Flying Disc Store has everything you need. As part of our support of the Tee-Off, the Flying Disc Store would like to provide Tee-Off listeners with 5% off any purchase in the store. Just use the code TEEOFF5 when checking out to get your discount. Visit www.flyingdiscstore.com.au today to grab a deal. And if you have any questions, be sure to contact their friendly staff. And welcome back to the Tee-Off, an Australian podcast about the awesome sport of disc golf. This is episode 57. My name is Paddy Robinson, and I'm in the booth with Andrew Fergie Ferguson. How are you, mate?
Good, mate.
That's good. And Timmy Bowen.
Hey, Paddy. Good to be here again.
Good to be here. Straight into it. We've got a pretty fun episode ahead. We've got Gareth Morgan coming in a bit later to tell us a little bit about the Tassie Open, I think.
Yeah, we all missed it, but that course, I'm just getting more and more green with envy every time I see any clips from that course.
Yeah, that'll be pretty fun. And I think there's a couple of other things. We're just going to recap everything, do all the normal stuff. Got some discussion points, so it should be a bit of fun.
What's news around the world, around Australia? What's news? What's happened and who's spoken?
The news and tournament recap is brought to you by Disc Golf Warehouse. Use the code TEEOFF at the checkout and snag yourself a cheeky little discount.
Now, boys, we had our first Disc Golf Pro Tour Plus event. Plus meaning it's a little bit better, kind of like an A+, better than just a simple A.
Is that what it means?
That's all. Yeah, it's a little bit more prestigious.
Well,
I think maybe the extra round. I'm not exactly sure on the specifics, but this was a Disc Golf Pro Tour Plus.
It's an extra plus 10 grand in the pot.
Extra cash, more prestige, more tourney points in terms of the DGPT Tour standings at the end of the year. So a little bit more to play for. This was, of course, the Prodigy Presents Waco in Texas. I think that's how you say it, right?
It is.
Like taco?
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
Waco?
Yep.
Oh, Waco's way more fun.
Waco, Texas. 160 total players, 112 MPO, 48 FPO, pro purse of 103K, if you don't mind.
Ooh.
We had two big winners. Gannon Burr had another win after following up his good work at Memorial. And a new player to the FPO scene this year, Kristen Tatar. She's back, and she's back on top of the standings, getting a commanding win in FPO.
Yeah, keeping that run going.
It was very exciting. Not so much exciting on the FPO side of things because after the first couple of rounds, KT, well, she didn't exactly take the reins, but the others around her kind of crumbled a little bit. But the MPO side of things was just must-watch viewing. I think going into the final round, there were like 7 players within a couple of shots of the lead.
Oh, it was more than that. It was like the whole top 10.
I think it was like
2 strokes?
7 players within 4 shots. And then if you go back to like half a dozen shots, it's like another 12 players.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And of course it was Nicholas Antala, Luke Humphreys, Gannon Burr, and Nate Sexton were sort of tied at the top. They were the ones that were most likely to win. And I couldn't help but notice, hole 1 of the final round, the old boys looking a little shaky. I don't know if you noticed that, but it kind of looked like Luke Humphreys and Sexton were just super nervous off the tee box, and Gannon Burr just took control right from the get-go.
I did notice that, actually. There was a bit of talk, bit of chatter early on where we were saying, right, who's going to get up? And I did think Gannon was a red-hot crack, but I was like, I reckon Sexton could give this a real solid chance. I mean, it's a big open course. He's just got to hit his lines and, but...
He shanked. Boy, they look nervy.
Shanked.
And Humphreys, of course, 3-putted on the first hole.
Yeah.
Which he was pretty close on that C2 for birdie, but then he missed a very short comebacker, which was just a sign of the nerves. I think if you go back a little bit, I feel like a lot of the young players were like that when they got onto a lead card with Macbeth and Wysocki. They're like, this is my only chance to get a win. I've got to seize this.
Yep.
And now it's flipped. Gannon Burr should be in that position, but he's so good at such a young age. Now the old boys are like, this might be my only chance to win one for a while. And I think that's what it looked like to me. Someone sitting on the couch watching at home. That a bit of nerves.
Yeah.
Really loved the work from the Finn, Nicholas Antela, though. He was taking the reins. He was, of course, on chase card, so he was a couple of holes ahead of the boys, and he looked like the one to win, the one to beat at one stage.
Oh, he was hitting putts from everywhere.
I think his back nine was just hot. I think he had 6 or 7, at least 6 birdies in a row.
Yeah.
And then obviously just, unfortunately,
Hole 17 got him.
Yeah.
Little skinny, OB.
Yep.
That let the door ajar.
There was I can't remember exactly what hole it was. I think it was like maybe 14 or 15, where his drive was coming into the green and it was going OB.
Yeah,
he hit it too hard, but it hit the barrier and came back in.
Mate, how did that get in?
Yeah,
it didn't just hit the barrier; it hit like the foot of the barrier.
Yeah, it hit the foot of the barrier.
Yeah, that was
and then it looked like it didn't have enough curl, and then it curled in.
Yeah.
That is so lucky.
That was sick.
And I'd never get that, Paddy. That's the kind of crap you get. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, man, that's
it's Aussie champ love.
It's three-time love.
It's like he's going to win this now.
Yeah, and that was around about the time where Gannon actually got pinged. We got a warning for taking too long. It was a little bit. It looked like Gannon was running away from the other boys in Humphreys and Sexton early on, and he was just going to storm home. And then he had a time violation warning, and the very next hole, I think it was, he got a dirty spit out dead center. It was a Prodigy basket, and I couldn't help but think that was a little bit of backlash for the lawsuit.
What?
Yeah, I think it was
Vice versa.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel it felt like a little bit of the karma train.
I think a remote control baskets. Shit.
I couldn't help but think, a bit more flashing on the disc would have caught. But anyway, that's didn't need to be said. But after that point, my man Humphreys, Prodigy sponsored, and got a chance to meet him down in New Zealand. Very, very cool dude. It was good to see him playing so well, and I was definitely rooting for him back home.
I love the swagger on the guy.
Yeah.
The way he just strolls down the fairway, and it's just, he's so loose, and
He's got a strut.
He does.
The old one finger salute as well.
Yeah.
Bit of a
the jump putt too, super smooth.
He's super smooth player.
Yeah.
Love to watch him. Yep.
Yeah, it looked like perfect conditions as well, which those jump putts might be a little bit left, a little bit right, a little bit high normally with a bit of wind, but he was just canning them, and man, just getting those vibes. He looked like he was riding it all the way to the end.
Absolutely. He canned one I think it was on hole 16 to take a one-shot lead over Gannon.
Yeah.
And then he put 17 nice and close. Gannon, though, clutched up, hit like a 50, 60 footer to an elevated basket, OB behind.
Yeah.
And then it all came unstuck on hole 18 for Luke. He looked super nervy. Yanked one off the tee, put himself a bit out of position, and then unfortunately found an OB golf green. And, that was the shot that Gannon needed to tie things, but Gannon took it a step further. And I don't think there'd been many birdies on hole 18, but Gannon, he clutched up again and then hit, edge of circle putt for the win. It was huge.
Oh, dude, that approach shot, that was massive. Like he looked like he was throwing uphill. He had to throw over a tree, really guarded green. And it wasn't even edge of circle. I think it was inside circle.
It was inside circle. It was like 20, 25 feet though. It wasn't, it was the kind of putt that
not a gimme.
My knees would be rattling, Paddy, on that one, particularly in the circumstances. I'd be shaking and I'd probably be hitting the tray if I'm being honest. But he was just a man beyond his years, Gannon.
Yeah.
He's bloody 18 or 19
crazy.
or whatever he is.
How old's Nicholas? Do you know?
Yeah,
early 20s.
Yeah. It's just interesting. I mean, obviously 1 and 2, both young blokes. And just going back to hole 17 as well, we know Nicholas unfortunately went OB.
He did, yeah.
And I don't know if you saw it, but he opted to just lay up.
Smart boy.
Yeah, and I thought at the time as well, smart play, 100%. You don't want another roll away or whatever's going on there.
Even though he has the beautiful skin of like a 6-year-old Finnish boy, he is pretty wise, young Nicholas.
Absolutely. But then, on the conversely to that, you've got, Gannon, who actually runs the putt, hits it, wins by a stroke.
Yeah.
So, you wouldn't fault Nicholas for choosing to lay up in those circumstances, but, you've just got Gannon with a different kind of mindset, just had to, he wanted to run it, hit it, and he hit it. So
He's a beast at putting, Gannon. He's an absolute fearless beast.
I feel like he's almost a bit yippy. Like,
Yeah.
we're not yippy. It's just his style seems to be a bit more jabby.
Well,
and I feel like it looks like nerves, but maybe it's not. Maybe that's just his style.
he gets that pop, but it's a very strange technique. Like he pulls it into his left pocket, which means that it's never in line with the basket. It's very off axis, but he's just got it so dialed. That gives him that extra
there's no
pop and
flutter to that thing. It comes out perfect. It's it's awesome.
Came out of the tray perfect on hole 12 too, or whatever the hole it was at the spit out on.
We've talked about a lot of these young guys, and if you look at this top 10, like there's a lot of young guys there, but I got to admit, like 4 rounds, this massive course, 2 courses actually, like with the Beast and the I can't remember where the last one, what it was called, but
Lake Waco,
yeah,
Waco.
on the actual golf course, requiring these big bombs. There's a few people in this top 10 that I wouldn't have expected to be there.
Chris Dickerson, Greg Barsby, Ricky Wysocki, of course, he's going to be there. Casey White, Joel Freeman, and Nate Sexton. Like,
do you know if you told me beforehand, like, hey, is Nate Sexton going to be, up there this year or actually like competitive for wins? I don't know. I don't know if I would have said yes. But
wasn't this the exact comp last year where he busted his cash streak?
Yeah, maybe.
I think he busted his 15-year cash streak at this very event last year. Don't quote me on that, but I have a feeling that's correct.
Las Vegas, maybe? Was it Las Vegas?
No, it might have been. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Anyway. But yeah, like it was great to see coming into that final round to see Nate on lead card. And, Barsby there as well. He was cashing some big putts too. Like, yeah, it's awesome to see those guys that are still there. They're still a presence. Yes, it's awesome to see the young dudes coming through, but yeah, I freaking love seeing. I honestly want to see more of those guys, like still there, still competing.
Absolutely, and that's probably a good segue into the FPO side of things because we of course had KT getting the win, but Owen Scoggins, one of the older, wiser heads in FPO, put in a very, very solid performance to take second place, and I thought that was huge from Owen because. She admitted herself in post-round interviews after a hot start to the tourney at the Beast, which is probably more suited to her style, nice flex forehands, good putting course. She was saying on the Lake Waco course, she doesn't have the big arm. She's not getting birdies. She's going to play boring golf and just stick to her guns. But I just want to point out, she shredded that course.
Yeah.
She putted 12 out of 13 C1X in round 2. And 83% in the final round, and put in 2 5 for 1,007 and 1,013 ratings on a course that she thought she might not get a single birdie on. It's huge,
very handy.
I think along the FPO side of things, KT, it was good to see her back, good to see her get a win. She of course averaged 1,007, so she's a very good chance of being over 1,000 rated at the next update.
Mate, that round 3 though, shooting a 59.
Yeah, that was huge.
That's everyone else in the top 10 didn't shoot better than what? There's a 61 there. There's a 71 there. There's 66.
She's just ultra consistent though, isn't she? She's like she wasn't amazing apart from round 3. She wasn't in the lead for the first half of the tourney. It was of course Ella Hansen, but she just doesn't capitulate. I felt like everyone else around her just had those holes where they didn't just make a little bit of a shank. They made a full Tim Bowen grip lock and make the worst possible mistake that you can. I mean, Ella, there's that triple Mando that Ella didn't even get close to making, which at her level, you really should be smashing that through most of the time, I would have thought.
Yeah, I wonder if it was what it was, whether it's a bit of mental fatigue, a bit of, physical fatigue. I mean, to shoot a 59, a 58, and then go 70.
Yeah.
And then a 69 to sort of back it up.
Look at the ratings. She shot 1,008, 1,035, and then she closed out with a 953 and a 947.
Yeah.
And if you look back to Waco last year, she had the lead. She was going to romp home against KT and unfortunately choked on hole 18. Grip locked it, went OB long, which is just such an unforced error. And unfortunately, I think Ella should be having nightmares about this one again because she was in the box seat and she finished as low as a tie for 6th place with Hannah Bloomross.
Yeah. bit of a shame, but good to see that she's got some, big positives. Like, that's 2 huge opening rounds.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
Now, Patty, I was trying to segue you in there because you do have a note on our run sheet here about Hannah Bloomross, which, a bit of a sniping if I do say so myself.
Oh, mate, not from me. I just noticed it. Like we like to, in the past we've talked about Evelina's putting, but man,
Let's keep it real. Fergie and I came into the box today, and Patty was like, "Did you see Hannah's 4-putt? Did you see it?"
It's just nice to see someone else 4-putt. I mean, you want to see me 4-putt? Go check out go check out
Park Media's coverage of the which one was it? The Ruffy Rumble.
Ruffy Rumble, yeah.
Tasty 4-putt. Maybe I'll send that to Hannah. Might make her feel better. But hers, was yours as close as hers? She was like 15 feet.
No, I airballed. She was within bullseye on hers.
But it's any consolation. Okay, I never actually 4-putt because my disc's always under the basket when I hit the cage. So that's just, it's a fail-safe.
Notorious tray slapper.
Yeah. But look.
Who's Trey? I like her. No, okay.
I mean, sometimes it humanizes your heroes a little bit, but at the same time, it's so painful to watch. Like, so painful to watch. There's just such a disconnect, and man, I don't know how many times I've been there where there is that complete disconnect. The mind and your hand are doing 2 completely different things, and it was pretty rough.
Yeah, that's no good
pretty
at all.
Rough. Yeah.
Couple of other notes. We had Ricky Wysocki copping a 2-stroke penalty to start the second round.
Yeah.
Very, very strange. So PDGA has a new rule whereby you need to be at the tee box 5 minutes, a full 5 minutes before your tee time.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky was there 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So copped a penalty. And
do we know who it was?
Someone dobbed him in.
Yeah.
We don't know who it was.
I heard KJ's name.
There's lots of theories.
Around.
Lots of theories.
Yeah.
I heard Kyle Klein.
Someone put a meme out there about Kyle Klein, and Klein was like, "What the hell? I wasn't even on his card."
Yeah. Someone took the piss a bit and said Zach Melton.
Okay. And he was actually
on the card, but they disclosed later, like, no, we actually didn't realise you were on the card.
The rumor,
we don't think it was you.
The rumor about KJ was because KJ copped the very same penalty at chess.com, apparently.
Oh, right.
So, but yeah, it's shocking, isn't it? 2 strokes, very, very harsh from Ricky.
I mean, I did see in his socials, he did kind of, explain the situation, and he took full fault. He knows the rules and things like that, and I don't know. But they do need to address some way to make sure that this is, someone's talked about shot clocks at the practice baskets that's synced up with clocks on the first tee and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. 30 seconds.
I'd like we've been at some where they announce, like, can the 10-15 card make your way now? Like, I think that's fair to announce. And if they announce that and you're not there within, a couple minutes, then, okay, come on.
Just rock up. Don't you want to watch the card in front of you tee off, get a bit of a win rate, or is that just me?
No, I do that.
I'm there.
I'm there.
All right. Well, anyway, he copped a penalty, and he probably won't do that ever again.
Yeah.
Now, Paige Pierce, she was actually playing pretty good golf at Waco.
Mate, there's a 1,000 rated round in there.
There's also a 12 on the scorecard. I just want to point that out.
You're telling me I'm sniping Hannah.
Mate, I'm very well known. People call me 10 Bowen because I took a 10 on a hole once.
One time.
I'm still getting called 10 like 6 months later. She took a 12. So, Paige, that's no good. It was on hole 16 in round 2, but she actually birdied that on round 4, which by my maths is a 9-stroke improvement. So, well done to Paige.
Do you know what that says to me? That just says there's some kind of stupid OB on that hole.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, and she's thrown OB. Yeah.
It does reek of stubbornness, though. Once you've sent a couple in the OB, surely you do something different. I don't. I just take a 10. But what do you guys think of that course, though? What do you think of Lake Waco?
To be honest,
I'll give you Paul Macbeth's quote. Mm-hmm. It's a golf course.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. I actually didn't think it was too bad. Like, I kind of don't mind these tourneys where you've got 2 courses. One, highly technical, shorter, trying to test all the shot shapes and test your putting skills. And then a bomber course. I feel like they complement each other pretty well. And I thought, as far as golf courses go, this one wasn't too bad. Tee pads though, no good.
Trash.
I saw some pretty funky ones. Who was it jumping up on the thing? Oh, no. It was just ridiculous. Like, I felt like he was jumping up about a foot.
Yeah. I think Chandler Fry did it, and Ben Calloway gave him the Mario jump noise.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, "Boing."
Oh, that's amazing.
They were big pads, though. They were pretty wide and long, but...
Not some of the FPO ones. There was one of those little red ones. I was like, "Oh, that's looking very dicey." And it was like one where they had to stop on a dime at the nose of the pad because there was water on the other end of it. It's like, oh god.
The course. I think if you're going to play 4 rounds, like, did they play? How many times did they play that course?
Twice.
They did play it twice. I don't know. I guess the reason why they played that last is so they could get more of an audience. I'm guessing that's the main reason.
No, it's 100%. Sell more tickets, and as far as like, on that front, it's a good success. But
yeah, I mean the first one is such a good. Like, the Beast is such a good disc golf course. Like, super fun, tight lines, wooded. Like, the OB is OB, like natural OB everywhere. I love that course. Love watching it. So, yeah, it's... I mean, is it bringing in the wholeness of the winner? I don't know. Did Gunnan blitz? He didn't really blitz to go and get the win. It was kind of... He did play well across both courses, but... Yeah, I just find it boring to watch, especially for a final round. Like, yeah.
It's hard to watch on coverage too. You don't really know where the discs are going and what they're aiming for when they're throwing big hyzers like that. But look, it wasn't too bad. A couple of aces we've got to shout out. AB got a really cool skip ace through the triple Mando, and Scott Stokely, big forehand into the wind, rung one up, which was awesome to see. Other than that, you got a note here, Paddy, Zach Arlinghouse. What have you got to say about old boy Zach?
So we kind of made a mention of this beforehand. So one thing that isn't really happening anymore on the PDGA with the change from U-Disc is there used to be the cutoff line.
The bloody cut line's gone.
Yeah.
I'm tracking the live scores. I'm watching the scores change as I'm watching the coverage.
Yeah.
There's no cut line. I didn't know who was making the cut, who was missing the cut.
Yeah,
Sort it out, PDGA.
It's a bit trash.
Sort it out.
So we're going in, we'll have a look, and there was a cut line that went into all the players that played finals. And going down, there's one player who made the cut but didn't get paid. And that was Zach Arlinghouse.
No, surely that's a mistake. So he made the cut, and the cut's not the cash line.
Yeah, I think...
That's pretty stiff.
There's a lot of ties. And I think that might be what actually... led him to not get paid.
So he had to rock up for an extra day and then get paid.
Yeah.
Poor Zachy.
Missed it by one stroke, I think. If he had he was a 15 down, and Matty O was a 16, and he got 400.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oof. And you're right. He's the only player who played that final round without a cash mark next to his name.
So I think that's kind of special, to be honest.
Well done, Zach. That's a rare honour.
One more notable as well. Jared Stoll.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys saw this throw?
So if you go all the way down the list, you will find Jared Stoll.
Well, yeah, we'll find him dead last.
Yeah.
That's one thing. That's okay. But Mr. Shoulder Reconstruction himself, he's... Oh, is it 17? 17.
18.
18. The 18th, yeah. Putting a tomahawk straight over the top.
At the Beast.
So 18, over the water?
The water.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, over the... No, not 18. Oh, 17. No, he did. Yeah. 17, he cut the corner.
Oh, over the rough.
Oh,
yeah, I've seen him do that. Yep.
Yeah.
And he missed the putt last year, but he got it this year?
Yeah.
He got it this year.
Well done, Jared.
Yeah. So there you go.
And then...
Dead last, but that's fine.
Well,
Who cares?
on 18, he did as well. I saw a video of him doing it too. And
over the water?
Over the water. And he hit like a edge of circle 2 putt. It was a big putt. But he toed that too.
Got 2. It's a par 3 now. That hole is hard. Yeah. I saw a big germ posting saying he's played 22 tourney rounds on the Beast, and he got his first 2 this time around.
Yeah, wow.
After hitting the tray and rolling OB back in 2021. Oh. That's a big oof.
I think the only other player that could maybe throw that style shot, Vili Pippo.
Vili Pippo?
Vili Pippo.
I've heard of Vili.
He's the one who threw the Araby. He threw the Araby Epic, which is like this off-center disc.
The shoehorn disc.
I'm
calling it the shoehorn disc because
it
it looks like a shoehorn. Looks 100%. Like the apparatus that old people use to help get their feet into their shoes.
Yes, yep.
That's what it looks like.
100% does. And he used to fling that thing and do this. I think he was like some sort of, javelin
thrower? Yeah.
Anyway.
want to move on to the very next comp, which is the PDGA presents the Open at Austin. But before we do that, not a Disc Golf Pro Tour event, but I thought we should just briefly touch on the Memorial Championship presented by Discraft. It, of course, was taken out by Gannon Burr and Owen Scoggins because KT wasn't here. But I think what's been doing the rounds before Waco popped up was cupcakes.
Mate, yeah.
Jacob Cordis.
He got called out.
By Terry Miller.
By
the disc golf dude himself.
Terry did not like doing all that editing, clearly.
So, we've all seen it. So, he took an average of 48 seconds per putt, apparently, which is a hell of a long time, Paddy. 48 seconds is an eternity when you've got the rest of your car mates standing around in dead silence, in just pure stoicism, not moving, not making a little ruffle of anything. Mm-hmm. You're making a wait a whole bloody minute to tap in.
My wife cooks actual cupcakes quicker than that. So that is horrendous. I did hear though. Apparently they did have a chat. You know, Terry Miller did afterwards, and he was saying that he just kind of gets nervous and he just can't let go of the disc.
Yeah, he always hits the putt afterwards too. But I feel like he was called. I think Uli called him in the past, and then his C1X percentage went to shreds. So just call the man.
He got called.
He got called.
He did get called eventually, and and then he 3-4 putted or something like that, which kind of sucks. But I mean, dude, that's something you can practice.
I can't believe he didn't get called straight away though. Now that the whole card can be put on the clock, just call the man. I think that's the general consensus of the disc golf community. Is I would have called that straight away. Yeah. I don't know if you would have. It's awkward when you have to say it to someone's face in the middle of a tourney. Yeah. Mate, do you mind just hurrying along a little?
I think it brings it back. Like, I know this wasn't a Pro Tour event, but I don't really like the self-policing, to be honest, especially if it's on the Pro Tour. Like, I think at golf they do it where they have officials or something around. And I mean, if he's taking that long on the green, like, it's going to delay stuff. And if you start to see like little backups or delays or whatever, or someone maybe they can message, or you've got an official walk around, whatever it is, have someone there and they can call it. Like, it's just when you're a player, you're in there. I just want to play, man. Like, all right, we can do our scores and all that sort of stuff. And if it's getting pretty tight with scores, I'm there thinking about and worrying about this other player and blah blah blah. I've got enough to worry about than actually doing this sort of stuff and then causing confrontation, then putting my game off. It's annoying.
Well, I mean, if you add it up, I mean, it's a good 16 minutes. Of putting. And that's if he doesn't miss a putt. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of time. And
the problem is he does it for like the 10, 15 footers. And it's like, mate, just step up and tap that in. Yeah. I watch Isaac Robertson putt and it's just a joy to watch. The man just steps up, slings it across his body, dead center every time.
Yeah. The poor cameras struggle to bloody catch him half the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
anyway, let's move on. We need
that bloke from who called Nico, Peter Joe Rules. Come in, call it out. Yeah.
Do you reckon Jacob get in his face? Doesn't look quite as. No. I mean, you don't get called cupcakes if you're an angry bloke. So maybe he's handled a little bit better than Nico did. Anyway, let's move on. Disc Golf Pro Tour presents the Open at Austin, presented by Flight Factory Discs. I mean, looking back at last year, KT didn't play, I don't think. No, she did play. She finished 5th. But last year was taken up by Paige Pierce and Gannon Burr, of course. So I'm going to ask for some tips, boys, but I'm going to take Gannon Burr and KT off the table because they are the obvious, they're the $1.10 favourites.
Didn't KT play with her left hand last year?
Oh, was that the one she was hurting?
No, I don't know.
Something's got to explain that. Fifth place.
What?
It was taken up by Paige. And Katrina Allen was there too, so interesting.
Oh, man.
Who are we tipping?
The Finns have come out strong. I'm loving them at the moment. Yeah, I'll say Nicholas. Mm-hmm. I think he's due one.
Yeah.
He's definitely
not a bad tip. Calvin's back. Calvin pulled out of Waco because of an injury, so it's good to see him back. Hopefully he does start. He finished 3rd last year alongside James Proctor and just a shot behind Simon Lizotte.
I mean, AB's got to be on your boy's mind, surely.
Yeah.
AB's
Fine.
a red hot tip for this one.
Fine.
Isaac Robertson's high up the list, but he actually missed the cut at Waco. Astonishingly missed the cut.
Yeah,
Really?
interesting.
Jeez.
I'm going to go a little left field and say Joel Freeman.
Okay.
He had a good start, actually.
I know.
Played very well at Waco.
He did.
Yeah.
Yep. Bit of a smoky, but yeah, I like
All
him.
right, go on. And Timmy?
Simon. Yeah, he finished second. I can't take Gannon, so why not just take Simon?
All right, fair enough.
Also didn't play quite well at Waco, but he'll be right. He'll sort himself out.
What about the girls?
Girls, I like Missy. I'm going to jump ahead and take Missy Gannon.
Sure. All right, I'll say Evelina.
Good shout.
Did you say Ons off the table? No.
Owns there. Yeah.
Ons, yeah. Yeah, I'll go on.
Owen.
Cool. All right.
Kind of surprised, yeah, Paige. I don't know, it'd be good to see. This is a good opportunity for Paige to come out strong. Should be confident. Had a win last year.
Yep, no more 12s and see what happens. Cool. All right, and next up, I think we've got a couple of Aussie events. What's been happening, Fergs?
Well, we do. We have the Tassie Open, the 2024 Tassie Open, which was a PDJC tier that was held on the weekend, the 9th to the 11th of March. And that was held down at Franklin at the Wallaby Hill Disc Golf Course. Very beautiful one. I saw some new tee pads. Looked pretty cool.
Cool. The course looks bloody spectacular. It is.
Yeah.
It is a travesty that I've not played that course yet.
Right, really?
I've not
I didn't
been
know
there
you'd
yet.
not played that.
Oh, so every time I go to Tassie, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it this time, and then by the time I get there, it's like raining, or I can't do it, or I've got other excuses.
Mate.
So,
Play it in the rain.
Owen, I'm sorry, mate. I will be there. Just next time you run a comp there.
Yeah.
Well, I think definitely do that because I think there was 36 players. So
Yeah.
a few extra heading down there would be probably pretty good.
I even had a look. Flights were as much as $1,000 return.
Yeah.
What?
They were so expensive.
Why?
Long weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I do want to apologise. I missed this one, but yeah, it was generally just expensive.
No, it is hard. But
I looked at it for a long time too, and those flights got
Yeah, well,
worse
that
and
sucks.
worse and worse.
Well, the state obviously did host the Aussie Champs pretty recently, so there's a lot of people who've just been down there. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It looked like it was a pretty cracking event. Owen Hyde, the local there, he was the tournament director, and was supported by Matt Green as assistant TD. And straight into it, winner, back to back, Luke Bain.
Lukey Bain.
Very nice.
There you go.
Pretty. I don't think it was the biggest MPO field, but still a few solid players there.
The big dogs were there though. Aussie D, Jade Brady, Luke
Yeah.
Bain, and then a couple of big locals, Atticus and Ollie, and Gareth Morgan just found his way over to Tassie as well.
He did, and he did okay, the old guy.
Single G, as he's
Single
well known.
Single G.
Single G, because he's not double G. He's
Oh.
just got the one G, and he also throws not quite as fast, so we're calling him Single G.
Is he a bit more jerky too in the way? No, he's not.
Putting machine, though, those
mate.
daggers.
Well,
Oh,
I mean, I
boy.
think he had some. He came in third, but only a stroke behind Jade. So
And it came down to the last hole as well. Be very keen to hear his thoughts about it when we get him on the phone a little bit later.
very cool. Well, good on you, Gareth. And yeah, of course, as I said, there a one throw behind Jade Brady, who was 5 throws behind Luke. So good on you, Jade. It's definitely hitting the form straps there now. MP40, Kevin Costa.
Oh, the Costas went down. Lovely.
Yes. MA1 went to the local Burnie. I think he's based in Burnie there. Sam Rubok.
Yeah, right.
Looks like it might have been a playoff for MA1. Zin Zor. That is a name.
That is a name.
Double Z.
Jeepers. And 888 rated. That's a pretty handy kind of tournament. I don't know what the round ratings were they were like, but yeah.
Yeah, 936, 999, 880. So
Yep.
good
Very
performance.
And in MA40 we had John Schlabom.
Oh, nice.
Another win there for John. so that's great.
MA50, Jeffy.
Jeff Brunsting. And I think he was maybe 4 off the pace heading into that final round, I believe.
Yeah.
So he's done well there to snag the win.
Big turnaround for Jeff. MA2, Matt Alice. FA2.
And yeah, MA2 and then FA2 Sharon Costa.
Nice.
And rounding it out in MA4, Bradley Smith took out the win.
Very nice.
Very good.
Boys, I'm seeing a big diff in scores, total scores. Like Bainey, negative 31. And then the winner of MA1 was plus 13.
The course is hard, mate.
Course is hard.
Very, very tight lines.
Yeah.
And I think if you don't have all the shots, you can get very, very much exposed.
What's round one, Bain is shooting 86.
86. I mean, it's a 27-hole course.
So it's 27 holes.
Yeah. Sorry, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah.
So lots of room to get that spread. That's exactly where that comes from.
Yeah.
But man, this looks like disc golf paradise.
Yeah.
Just getting better and better as well.
All right, I've got a quick Wallaby Hill story to share. So it is out in the sticks, and Owen's put in a few drop dunnies, and I was out there ready to meet him for one of them. And
Hang on. Wait, you're ready to meet him at the toilet.
Yeah, well, I was waiting to play around, mate, and I need to go to the toilet.
Just clarify, because the way you said that sounded very sus.
Yeah, okay,
Anyway.
sure. Anyway, so I'm there using the toilet, and he's got sawdust. So after it's a drop dunny.
Oh, yeah.
So after you do your biz, you finish it all up, and then you throw some sawdust down there so that it doesn't smell. And I did that, and caught this one bit of wind, and it sprayed the downstairs with sawdust. I was picking sawdust out of as I was getting through the round. I'm thinking, I don't know if you've ever had a little bit of chafing.
Splinters in the arse.
Or just a little bit of sand between your legs, but try chucking some fucking sawdust in there, man.
Pop that in the course review on UDisc. People need to read that one.
Yeah.
So what's next up on the agenda, Aussie-wise, Fergs?
Coming up on Saturday, March 16th, we do have the Sydney Summer Slam 24 presented by the Jindy Disc Golf Shop.
Nice.
At the Armoury, I guess?
I believe it's in the Armoury, yeah.
Yep.
And then in March 22, which we might sneak in another pod before then, but the South Australian Open.
SA Open, it's a big one.
Yeah.
Lots of big boys on the list. Paddy, you're on there?
Yep, I'm
Locked
on
in?
there. Yep, locked in. I've taken work off. Still
That's not
need
locked
to-
in, Paddy. It's like the week away. Book some flights already, would you?
Oh, well, yeah, I'll do that.
You'll be stuck in the car with Terry Bowen if you'd taken onto it early enough.
That's all right. I can suffer you on this, so I can get through Terry.
Well, he's going to want to put on the tee off on the drive, so you're going to suffer me and Terry.
That's all right. That's all right. I wouldn't have got far if I couldn't handle Bowens. I'm really looking forward to Bel Air. Really looking forward to Bel Air.
Yeah, it should be good.
Very, very, very excited. Yeah.
I'll be in the Gold Coast sitting on the beach. So, sorry, boys, but
No
that's
worries.
fine.
No, don't be sorry, mate. You're missing out.
We'll get in another pod, and hopefully we'll talk about some South Australian Open a bit more in the future. But pretty excited for this one. I think it's going to be a big event.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get a bit of intel from Single G when we chat about Tassie Open later, given that he is an SA local.
We just called to have a chin wag. We just called to have a chat with friends. We just called to talk some disco and to catch up on the latest disco trends.
Okay, and on the phone we've got Gareth Morgan, as we said we would. Now, Gareth, we've talked a little bit about the Tassie Open already, but we were super impressed with your third place, and we are stoked that you actually come onto the pod because we want to hear a little bit about your performance and, about the Tassie Open. So please tell us, how was it?
Well, it was incredible. Big shout out to Owen. He has done an incredible amount of work at that property, and he is really trying to turn it into a international destination for disc golf, I believe. And his plans and his hard work is just really paying off. Sadly, the numbers weren't that high this weekend. But yeah, nonetheless, he did an incredible job there. And we were very lucky with the beautiful weather. 32 degrees in Tasmania, which is very rare.
Sorry, did you say 32?
32 degrees. It was incredible.
Fahrenheit? That's crazy. That's warm. Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, look, mate, I've played Wallaby Hill quite a few times, and Owen has, over the years, he has shaped and put so much effort into it. I can't believe how fast that dude works too. Like he's got quite a lot of machinery up there, and like he'll blow like fairways in through like pure forest in a day or two. It's nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just loves it. He's sought out quite a lot of help from others as well, and he's making something pretty special out there. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to play disc golf in a full-on rainforest?
I'll get there one day, Paddy. I'll get there one day.
Yeah.
Now,
I was surprised not to see you, Tim. I was disappointed.
yeah, the flights were too expensive. Sorry, Gareth. I'm sorry, Owen. I'll get there one day. Now, Gareth, huge congrats on your third place podium finish, mate. That is unreal. 982 average for the event. And I had a look at the scorecards. You only had 8 bogeys for the entire event. I don't even know what 3 times 27 is, but that's a lot of holes, and you only had 8 bogeys. I also see 2 eagles on the scorecard in round 1. So that must feel nice.
Yeah.
A bit of a double eagle.
Yes, it was very impressive. So my first eagle was the hole 10, I believe. And John was just chatting away, and he's like pretty disappointed. There's a local guy who's from his home state but lives in Tassie now, and he chained out on this line, and we're all just looking at the line saying, that's just impossible. And he's like, no, he does it this way forever. So obviously Gareth gets a little ego kick, and I'm like, well, I can do this. So we've got a little bit of headwind, so I get out the flippy grade, and I threw it on the perfect line, but it kept turning. So I was a bit disappointed, but somehow it got through the trees, and I was 5 meters away for an eagle putt. So a lot of luck on my side, but I thank John for that eagle. So definitely do not play that.
And thank the daggers that you're well known for jamming into the chains, I'm sure.
Yes, well, I'm trying to get rid of the MA1 5-meter miss putt curse that I have on myself, and sadly that still exists.
That's
so
all right.
I'm working on it. It's getting less and less.
that exists for most of us still in MPO. Don't stress too much about that. He's
a very rare man where his sweet spot is like the 10-meter mark, Gareth. He's just so good edge of circle.
Yes.
Now that's enough. That's enough pumping you up, though, Gareth, because out of those 8 bogeys, I couldn't help but notice that all 3 rounds, hole 27 gotcha, and unfortunately that was the tiebreaker between you and Jade for second place. What happened there? Because I just want to take you back to the boys' chat. Adam Rigby, shout out to Rigby, he runs a bit of a tipping competition, and the entire group tipped Jade and Austin. But Rigby and I, we tipped Bainey and yourself, and we thought you were a bit of our smoky. And we were glued to the scores, and here's some of the things Rigby said about hole 27. He said, 27's kind of a meh hole. Likely both Jade and Gareth par. Actually, take that back. 27's real easy. I can't believe he bogeyed it. So what happened, mate? What's the story there?
So round 1, I hadn't thrown the destroyer for months, to be honest, because I don't get out much. It's just my forehand disc now, and we had a headwind. So I was like, I'll just play it safe and throw the destroyer into the headwind and then just place it up for a bird, because I know I can't throw that far. And for some reason, I just throw it super early and off into the woods on the left. And I wasn't too worried because it is quite an easy hole, so I wasn't stressed. I had a line to the basket, but then the wind had changed. It was more of a left to right then. And I'm there calculating it. I'm like, don't be an idiot. Just throw it straight at the basket. I throw it straight at the basket, and that left to right just punished it. So it left me about 12 short. And sadly, the dagger wasn't on for that. So that was the first bird. And then the second round was just a great shot into the middle, like a half run from circle 3, and then a 4-meter putt at the end. I was out of rhythm a little bit because you leave your back base when you play 27, and I forgot a mini, and I just took the berg to upshot with, and then I upshot with my putter, a dagger, and then I just got my bird in my hand with no mini, and then I'm like, I'm out of rhythm here, and then I'm like, don't be an idiot, you're on a pro card, just throw it in, it's 4 meters. And sadly, I did not throw it in.
Oh, no. That smacks of Katrina Allen.
That funky little top on that berg, putting, I don't know. It can catch your thumb a bit.
Yes, and that's exactly what happened. And I often have a flutter with putters. I often turn up the leagues and I don't know what's in my bag. So sometimes I have to putt with my berg because I didn't pack anything else. So I'm used to it. But sadly, it was the thumb thing, and it went into my mind, and then that's exactly what happened. The thumb just pulled it a little bit right, and then on those times, fast, low and right, it don't stick. So it just kicked me out, and I was one of those silly moments. And It is what it is. And then on the third round, Jacob was on my card, and I didn't know the scores. I didn't really care. I was having a great time. And then Jacob was on the bag for me, so a big shout out to him. And he's like, "Oh, you need this one." I'm like,
"Oh no,
no pressure, mate.
It's exactly what you want."
Yeah, I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You got to go for this one." I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, "I'm never gonna catch Luke." He's like, "Oh no." And then I had such a good day. I was on a high, and I'm like, "Yeah, I can get there." People talk about tournaments like extra distance and when you're on a good card and so on. So yeah, I tried to get that extra distance. That's over, and hit the rough. And concerned because it is an easy hole, but as I got up to my lie, it was not an easy approach. So then, yeah, I stuck with the tomahawk, which got me out of a lot of trouble throughout the day. And then, yeah, try the tomahawk, and it put me about 8 feet short, and I missed the putt. Yeah, well, Jade was only about 6 or 7 meters away, so I thought he was going to nail it anyway, and I didn't have to worry. And then he missed the putt, so I was like, "Oh,
it was right there."
Yeah,
and that's all she wrote. Nah, no good. And you mentioned before you actually didn't throw many discs for the tourney.
That's correct. So, yeah, my trusty daggers. I've got 3 different types: the understable, and the straight, and then the slightly more stable. The Berg, which is pretty much my 80% disc on that course for upshot, and then a Justice. Thank you, Tim. And a Grace, and then a Destroyer.
Yeah, that's right. There's a story behind that, Justice. I remember way back in the day, Gareth had just started playing disc golf, and he asked me for what disc he should throw, and I was running the store, and I just wanted to sell him a disc. And I said, "Yep, you're being a beginner, Metal Flake Justice be perfect for you, perfect just starting out in the sport." But you haven't looked back.
Have not looked back, and yes, I had lost it. And then bless him, just messaged me out of the blue, and he's like, "I heard you've lost your Metal Flake disc."
And that's right. And I found one on
Legend
Canberra's store. Shout out to
Canberra
the ACT
store,
disc golf store. They had one. Yeah,
right.
Yep.
Gareth, I'm a bit of a Berg buff. Berg buff. Tell me about the Berg that you got. What kind of plastic is it?
Oh, it's a K1 lime mint. Lime green or whatever. I'm not sure.
I've got to say, no. Mint and lime green is there's a big distinction there in Bergs. There's like almost like an extra figure on the sum of how much that disc costs.
No, it's a lime green. Yeah, shout out to Jono for that disc because he helped me out when I broke my foot and I competed down in the eruption and I could only throw forehand. And he's like, "Just throw this for approaches. It's an amazing forehand disc." And then, that was 2.5 years ago, and I still haven't given it back to him.
Well, it's pretty huge. I mean, considering, what did you say? You're using it 80% on that course. So that's huge.
Well,
yeah.
Good on Tim for, cutting you down a bit, reminiscent about one hole of a...
Mate, it was the last hole.
Of a whole tournament.
It's the hole that mattered.
But,
I've got one more question.
I was just going to say he shot 11 down that final round.
Hot round.
Yeah. Just in that third round, 11 down. That was huge. And that mate, solid effort. Yeah, solid effort.
I was definitely stoked when Jacob showed me on the last hole, and I was like neg 12, and I was just like, "What? How?"
Yeah.
I turned my psychology around basically, and I was like, "Whatever happens today, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna try and G up the boys to just throw the best they can, the best." And we had just a lot of fun. The park crew were just having a laugh as well. It was just a beautiful day. And then trying to get everyone out of their little ruts. Because it was a pleasure to play on their card because there was some amazing golf that I don't think I'm at that standard. So I was very shocked to throw a neg 11. Just the dagger putter was on.
Mate, You're at that standard.
Absolutely at that standard. Your rating went up 1 point today, 957 you are. And, mate, you well and truly belong with the big boys.
Yeah, and just looking at that, you've only been playing MPO for a handful of tournaments now. How have you found the jump up?
Yeah, it was a jump up that I wasn't to go.
Well, sorry, mate. They just cut out there. Do you mind starting that sentence again?
Yes, apologies. So when I jumped up, it was very, like, a big subject for me on my own head because I thought I was going to be going backwards rather than forwards because about 9 months ago, I decided that I was going to take a step back from disc golf, like work and married life and all that. So I don't play as much anymore, but then my standard of golf was kept improving. So I was kind of forced to go up. There were a lot of sandbag calls. Thank you, Tim.
No.
So, Gareth, are you saying the less you play, the better you get?
You would not believe it, but yeah, like even my wife now follows my disc golf. It's only taken 5 years, but this is the first tournament she's actually followed my results and sent me a text message like, wow, you're playing really well. Yeah. So yeah, like it's crazy. So, but I think it's just all in my headspace, you know. Like I turn up to a tournament now. I'm like the first day we were camping, and then someone comes over like, you know, we're playing in 20 minutes, right? And Jeff, Jacob, and I just having a tea. I'm like, oh, we just sort of forgot that we were there. It was it's pretty amazing. So yeah, we don't take it seriously anymore.
That's a great mentality, mate.
It's definitely working.
Gareth, just one more quickie before we wrap it up. I just wanted to tell us the goss about what happened with the playoff in MA1. Did you know too much about that between Sam and Zinzor? And is that his real name?
It is his real name. But sadly, I did not get to witness that because what happened is the earlier cards teed off at 9 a.m. and then we teed off at 11:15, and that's so the rest of the field could come and watch the final sort of 12 to 14 holes. So it was good to get a crowd out, to watch it really.
Yeah, nice.
So that's what happened. So I missed the MA1 playoff, but it was like incredible by Sam to come back because then it was like looking like a strong winner the whole 2 days or 3 days, and then somehow he lost in the last 3 holes, I believe. So yeah, not sure.
He caught up by 8 strokes.
Yeah,
so.
oh boy, big swing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Gareth, we might wrap it up there, mate. Thanks very much for coming on the tee off. Just looking at your PDGA page, you've got the SA Open on the agenda and the Vic Open, so it's awesome to see you've made the step up and you're competing at the top level at those events. I hear you're a bit of a Bel Air bandit, so I reckon you'd be in my tips for the SA Open, but I think it's got to be Lukey Baines, wouldn't you think?
Yes, Lukey Bain or Jade or Austin. Like I got to witness some incredible golf, and it was like an absolute pleasure for me.
Or single G. You got to put yourself in that conversation, mate. But thanks again for coming on, mate. We really appreciate you spending some time with us on the tee off, and wish you all the very best for the rest of the year, disc golf wise.
Thank you very much, and keep doing what you're doing, boys. Thank you.
All right, and last episode, Timmy, we talked about the Jomez theme songs and ranking them as to what our favourites were, you know, from favourite down to least favourite. But we have had the long weekend, and even though that should probably mean we are more prepared, we aren't.
It was 40 degrees 3 days in a row, and I was just struggling to survive. So we're sorry. We're putting out the Jomez theme songs for voting this week.
Yep.
Send in your lists, and we'll chat about it next episode.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, now, we've been doing this segment the last few episodes about new discs in our bag. And Timmy, you've brought one in for show and tell, which I like.
I've been banging on about the KJ Reverbs, so I thought I'd bring one in for you boys, because this is my main go-to driver. Okay. Absolutely love it. It's 13.5 3.5. So likely it's got that extra 0.5 fade, which I desperately need. I would say that this is just a nice overstable destroyer. It's not crazy beef, but I can certainly throw it as hard as I can and not worry about it burning into the ground or turning over. Love it.
Yeah, looks good.
Is that a signature disc, that one there, or who's throwing that one?
Kevin Jones.
Okay.
So reverb is an audio term. So, you know, KJ loves his DJ.
Ah, of course he does.
Yep. That's kind of
clever.
Like, I find it a little cringe. But look, to be honest, it's a cracking disc. And if you haven't tried the reverb, definitely give it a go. Yeah. I think Prodigy, they're very known for their like shallow drivers. The D2 and D3 and things have got like lower rim height. Whereas this one's the opposite of that. And I feel like if you're a forehand dominant player, you want a taller rim. And this one's good for that.
So I was just going to say, is it flying pretty true to the numbers there? Or
yeah, quite true.
Yeah?
I would say this is comparable to like, as I said, an overstable destroyer or a force from Discraft.
Yeah.
It's probably a B Pro in the trilogy lineup there, Paddy.
Sure.
Love it.
Cool.
Very good
cool.
disc.
I didn't know that you could actually put speakers and a crowd cheering on a stamp, but they've done it. That actually doesn't look too bad.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite figure it out, but that looks okay.
That's why I love it. I think Ash put the crowd cheering on the Timmy Bowen T-shirt that Parks put out. So that must be why I love it.
Is there? I don't really know much about the plastic as well. So there's the 400 plastic, which feels like Champ.
400 grams, as Dylan Feldman called it.
Yep.
Super heavy, goes a mile.
Huge.
Yep.
Training all the way. But is there a gold line version of this?
So 400 is their primo plastic.
Yeah.
And then they've got 500, which is kind of... The best way I can describe 500 is it's like a gold line.
Yeah.
Or it's like a... it kind of looks like G-Star, but it feels like Star.
Okay.
In the Innova lineup.
Right.
Then they've got another level, which is 750, which is just like a very stiff version of that, and it's quite overstable.
So the lower the plastic number, the better quality it is.
It's kind of like that, but they're very... 750, 500 and 400 are all premium quality.
Right.
Just different textures. And 400 is known to be quite grippy, but while also being very durable.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the higher the
He's done
number...
his research.
Yeah.
The higher the number, the more overstable.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's a general rule of thumb.
Okay. Cool. All right, there you go. Have you got any others in that plastic?
I did get a 500 version of this in my latest allotment, and it's more overstable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Has that made the bag or?
Oh, it hasn't, because it's kind of overlapping with the Felcore. But I've been meaning to put it both back in the bag, and if I can have just reverbs and not reverb and Felcore, I'll probably opt for just reverbs. 'Cause I like to keep the molds, down to as few molds as possible in the bag.
Yeah. No, I dig it. All right. Nice. Thanks, Tim.
What about you boys?
I actually can't remember whether I've talked about this or not, but I think I have now, actually, now that I think about it, an Enforcer in the bag. It's a Fusion, the Raptor Eye Fusion one.
Oh, yeah.
Super beefy, right?
Enforcers? Yeah, it is, yeah. And it's really good.
Positive turn? Is that an Enforcer, or am I making that up?
No, it doesn't have positive. I think it's 0.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's 0. Like, maybe, is it 12 or 13? 12, 4, 0, 4? I think it is. So
just good for your steep ISO is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. I'm just playing around a little bit with less hyzer flippy kind of stuff, and so it's actually
Sorry, the Enforcer is a 12-speed.
Yep.
4 glide.
Yep.
0.5 turn.
0.5.
Oh, okay, right.
And then 4 fade.
Yeah, and that's even in the Fusion plastic.
That's just a normal Fusion Enforcer.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like the Ricky man
minus 0.5 or 0.5?
0.5. So it is in the pluses.
Yeah, 0.5.
0.5.
Yeah.
It is a plus.
Yeah, it is plus. Yeah. So I thought it was 0, but there you go.
It's a big plus.
Anyway, it's going okay, because I wanted something. I think I spoke about last time. I threw a king in the bag, and I went out again the other week and threw that, and I've just taken it out the bag. So
there you go.
It's just very, very flippy. Like, it's not bad with the head tailwinds and stuff, but I threw this thing on with a tailwind. I just kept on going right. I'm like, cool. I don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah, it's a wild card disc.
Yes,
you need to be a wild card if you want to bust out that one.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm just still digging the Enforcer.
I'll tell you what, those Raptor Eyes have some good colour combos too.
Yeah, this one's pink and blue.
The pink and blue? Yeah, I've got a photo of it.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, Paddy, your bag hasn't changed in like 12 years. You get new stuff, you try it, and you go like, nah. Back to the old stuff.
Well, it's not. I have.
Did you throw the Brave? Have you got that yet?
Nah. Oh, I do have it. Yeah, but it's not in the bag. Yeah, it's cool. It's a good disc, but not for me.
He's not brave enough for the Brave.
Ooh.
No. Good one. How long you been waiting for to bust that out?
I'm a dad now. All day.
No, what is new in my bag is I've added a warhorse. So I've had a prototype warhorse ever since it came out. I've had that in, and it's slowly been beating up over the, however long, like 5 years I've had it. But I have really missed having the overstableness of the warhorse in my bag. So I've popped a newer one in. So
have you popped the one in with you and Jazz as centaurs on the stamp?
That does not leave the wall.
Oh, that needs to be thrown. That needs to be thrown.
That thing would actually be great. I would love to put it in the bag.
Got to have some swag in the bag.
Have people seen that? Can you put it up in the
I'll put a photo. Yeah, I'll put a photo on.
That's so sexy.
But the warhorse is a 13-speed 404. So quite overstable. And the one that I've had that's beat in now, what it feels like to me is it's almost like an overstable fairway driver for me. Very versatile. And
what speed is it?
13.
Okay, but it's a fairway driver. Sweet.
Well, I don't think it is 13, in all honesty. The prototype one, I think it flies like it's an 11 or 12, in all honesty. I was very surprised when I looked up the numbers and it said 13. Don't think it flies that fast. But anyway, the prototype one flies probably a 0.2 for me now, like turn and fade. But the newer one is probably back to that 0.3, 0.4. So that's been huge. Really, really, really dig it. It's the old West Side bar stamp as well. So I dig that as well. And so it's kind of it's an older disc, but it is new into my bag, and it's really been working. Yeah,
very cool.
Cool. All right. Well, if you dig those discs, check them out too. I reckon. Like, go have a look. It's cool hearing a bit more about Prodigy too, Tim.
I don't know if anyone throws a reverb, but they bloody well. They better grow in Australia this year.
Yeah,
it's a good disc.
Well, and KJ too. He's a good dude. Mm-hmm. Get him, support him. All right, that brings us to the end of episode 57 of The Tee Off. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram and send in any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss. Until next time, we hope you get out and play some disc golf with your mates.
So that's the end of the episode. Thanks for listening. I don't know why you're still here. We have to go see our families. Seriously, just go play disc golf.